In today's video, I will show you my Dreamcast collection. It's not much, but it's honest work. And here it is. This is my Sega Dreamcast. For me, personally, this is my holy grail of console gaming. I never experienced this when it first came out because obviously I leaned heavily towards the PS2, and plus I was and still am a Sony and PlayStation fanboy. It wasn't until the early 2010s that I started to look at the Dreamcast again. So I did the research, obviously, started reading up on it, watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos, covering the Dreamcast and the games, and I got into it again. So anyway, as you can see, I bought this secondhand via Trade Me around 2016, I believe, I think. And along with this console, I got several controllers and several games, which I'll show you in a bit. So bear with me. However, before we move on, let me tell you this. So I actually own two Dreamcast consoles, including this one. And the other one I bought around 2012-ish, I think. And it came with a controller and 3 games. And the games were Virtua Fighter 3, TB, Metropolis Street Racer, and the third I can't remember. But I think it might have been Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But yeah, I can't remember the third one. So for the whole lot, I paid 110, which was a bargain nowadays. But unfortunately, and yeah, this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my life. I sold the console, controller, and Metropolis Street Racer for, I think it was $120, $120. Now, at that time, and looking back at it now, I don't know what I was thinking. And looking back at it now, I definitely shouldn't have sold it. I should have kept it and, even maybe mod it with a GDEMU or kept a stock, or as a second, console. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to let you know that I used to own two, and that was a mistake. And I still regret it to this day. And I can't find another one for that much nowadays, right? All right. Anyway, back to this one. Back to the one and only console that I own. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this. I believe it was in the region of 500 New Zealand dollars, which was a pretty good deal back then, considering what I got. So, I got this, a bunch of controllers and a bunch of games. So it $500, really good deal. Now, the last time I checked, Trade Me, a Dreamcast console with a single controller will set you back roughly $400 to $500. And also, depending on the seller, you may or may not get a game with it. So you can see the stupidity, when you consider how much the console is selling nowadays. But yeah, anyway, as you can see here, the console is not perfect. You can see the yellowing on the bottom half, as you can see there. There's marks here, and and a black mark there, which I can't get rid of. And there's another mark or blemish back there, which is a black streak. Let me see if there's another one. Marks there, and the bottom is still fine, I guess. All the rubber, rubber knobs are still there. The feet's still there. There's no cracks or nothing. So it's still in pretty good condition. It looks decent for me anyway, right? It is running the original lens, as you can see. So if I open this up, there it is. There's the original lens. It has not been modded in any way, as much as I want to. There's performance-wise also, there's nothing majorly wrong with it. The only issue that I know of is, one, the fan runs loud, and the fan, which is located here, and yeah, I mean, I probably need to replace it with one of those not too off fans, I think, and I'm sure there's a lot of YouTube tutorials out there on how to do it. I just need a soldering iron and and the know-how of what to solder and unsolder. And in terms of the fan, it's just, I guess it's just plug and play. Yeah. The second thing, and this is to do with the soldering iron, the battery is dead, completely dead, which means every time I turn on this console, after a while, after I've left it off for for a couple of hours, I need to set the date and time again. So I need to replace the battery with a new one, preferably with one of those CMOS battery holder that you can solder in to replace the current one, because the current one, as far as I can tell, last time I opened it, it's glued in and connected. So yeah, I can't just replace the battery that easily. But anyway, to me, these are small issues, hence why I haven't done them yet. But on a more positive note, this console, the reason why this is one of my, second only to the PlayStation, one of my other favorite console is because it allows you to play 4 players from the get-go. So any 4-player game, any party games, Choo Choo Rocket and whatnot, Worms, because look at this, A, B, C, D. You can play 4 players from the get-go, which is awesome, which is a great thing, yeah. And you don't need a multi-tap adapter like you do, if you're playing on a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2. You get one of those multi-tap adapters. You don't need that. So it's a great party console. And also back then you can connect to the internet using this built-in 56K modem, which is here, right? You can take this out and connect it. Now, I haven't personally experienced that, because I never had a Dreamcast back then. This is my first Dreamcast, like I said, which I bought in I think this was 2016-ish. And to be honest, I don't know whether or not anyone that owned a Dreamcast in New Zealand back then were able to connect to the internet, considering the life of the console, and the size of the gaming community here, back then, and the relative popularity of this console in New Zealand. I think and I could be wrong here, even Australia didn't seem to, and this is from what I read, even Australia didn't seem to enjoy the Dreamcast run. I believe they had issues with the online service, delays, internet access discs not being shipped with the console, and general experience during and after the online service went live. Look, to be fair, like I said, I only read about this, so I'm not entirely sure. Plus, I don't know anyone who actually experienced this firsthand. So, if anyone out there did experience the Dreamcast online, in Australia or even in New Zealand, share in the comments. I would like to know. Next, I will show you the controllers that I received when I bought this console. Now, I didn't get 2 controllers, so you can see here, but I got 4 controllers. When I say controllers, I mean the original, Dreamcast controls. I got 4 of them, as you can see. Now, along with the 4 controllers, I also received 2 rumble packs, as seen here. And there it is. All I have to do is just press on this little latch here, pull it out, and there is the rumble pack. Yeah, that's one rumble pack. Goes in here, and here is the second rumble pack right there. All right, but that is not all. As you can see, I also received the VMU, and I didn't receive just one VMU. I received 4 of them, so 1 for each controller, as you can see here. Right, there we are, there, and lastly there. Okay, I originally got 2, but the seller was kind enough to give me 2 additional VMUs, so that's great. Shout out to him. I can't remember the name, but if you're watching and you remember, yeah, thank you to you. These all still work, yeah. Obviously they don't have the batteries in them anymore, so I've taken out the battery. And yeah, as you can see, they don't work, but if you plug in the controller to the console, they will work. Yeah, and it displays the game logo, and also depending on the game, it can show you features such as I believe such as health conditions, what else, compass, ammo count, team stats, and animation, amongst others. And yeah, and if I replace the battery on the VMUs, again, depending on the game, you can also play mini games on them, which is another cool feature. You know, obviously you've got the D-pad there, right there. You got A, B, you got sleeping mode, and yeah, it's a nice touch. I don't think the PlayStation 2 had that, had anything similar. But yeah, the VMUs is great. Now, you know, the controllers themselves. This one is a bit yellowed. I think, I don't know why. I think the guy used this the most, or left it out or something. But the controls, they're awesome. Look at that. I mean, you've got the analog stick here. You've got the D-pad. You've got a single start button. You've got A, B, X, Y. You've got the LNR triggers back here, and yeah, obviously the two slots for the memory card and the rumble pack. And at first glance, you'll probably be thinking, well, that's a bit annoying. You know, the cable's coming, you know, from the bottom. But if you take a look back here, what you can do is you can attach the cable into this little notch here, just there, and there we go. And it simulates the cable coming up from the top, which is what most other controllers have. Now, as far as I know, the Dreamcast is the only controller that has the cable coming out from the bottom, which is odd, but yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind that. Yeah, so that is my Dreamcast controllers, right? All four of them, in fact. And like I said, it's great for playing party games. Choo Choo Rocket is one of my all-time favorite games. Well, you know, ever since I've received the Dreamcast, I've played it several times, you know, by myself with friends, and it's great. It'll test your friendship, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. And that's not all of the controls that I received when I bought this console. I also received this official fishing rod controller. Now, obviously, to play the fishing games, you know, that came out in Dreamcast, such as the Sega Bass fishing games and you know, any of the other fishing games out there. This has, you know, the usual features. It has rumble feature. It has the analog in the middle, and the analog is, you know, is still accurate. As far as I can remember, there's no drift on them. I don't know if drift actually existed back then. You got the start menu there, the A, X, B, and Y. There is no LNR buttons, and you can see it's, you know, you got this little plastic bit on the bottom here to grip it, to, you know, to have a strong grip. And obviously you have the reel, so you can reel it in and whatnot. It's great. Also, it doesn't have a space for the VMU, and I don't know why, but you know, I'm not complaining. It's still a great controller. Now, the fishing rod controller, this baby here, it has a secret that I did not know when I got it, when I got the console. And it actually has a basic, very basic motion sensing capability, believe it or not. This means that it can detect when the controller is moved left, left, right, up, and down. Right? Now, honestly, my mind was completely blown when I found out I can play virtual tennis with this controller. Yeah, it wasn't perfect, and it takes a while to get used to, but it's doable if you put in the time. It's basically playing Wii Tennis, way before Wii Tennis was even a thing. And this was way back in, what, 1999, 2000, up to 2001, I guess. Another game that I could also play, and I've tried this, is, you know, myself, and I actually, well, yeah, I wouldn't say I loved it. I quite enjoyed it. It was fun. Is Soul Calibur. I say it's fun because, as far as I can remember, if you shake the fishing controller side to side like that, it mimics the horizontal attack. And if you shake the fishing rod up and down, it mimics the vertical attack. Very cool indeed, very cool. And yeah, obviously you can play using the analog and press, but you can also do that. It's again, you wouldn't be using this in tournament, or, you know, when you're facing off with your friends, but yeah, it's doable, and it's actually quite fun to say the least. So there it is. There is the official Dreamcast fishing rod controller. Finally, I also received two official Dreamcast light guns. Now, this is a great light gun to play shooter games with, such as, you know, Virtua Cop 2 and the House of the Dead 2, and there's a few other ones that I can't remember, but it's very nicely built. It's got a slot for the VMU up here. So if I take a VMU from another controller, say this one here, right, you can slot it right in there, just like that. And there we go. And it'll show the House of the Dead. As far as I can remember, it'll show the House of the Dead logo in here. Right, and there it is, and it doesn't weigh as much, so your arm, your arm doesn't get fatigued when you're using this. You've also got here the D-pad in here. You've got the B, and you've got the start button. You've got the sights here, which you can use. I guess that's a micro switch in there. It's this is the it's the official light gun. You can see it there. It's HKT. What is it? 7800. Sega Enterprise, made in Japan. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, in terms of usage, it's like I said, it's very well built, and accuracy in game is really good. And obviously, yes, you need a CRT monitor in order to play this game, because obviously, this won't work on an LCD screen. But yeah, there it is. That's the final two controllers that I received, when I bought the Dreamcast. So like I said, $500 or whatever it was, around $500 to get all of this plus the games. Totally worth it. Totally worth it back then. Nowadays, if you're looking for something like this, I don't know. I've got no idea. Depending on the seller, you'll probably be looking at $800 upwards. Those are my official Dreamcast controllers. The last controller that can you call this a controller? Maybe you can. The last controller that I have is this baby right here, the Dreamcast keyboard. I bought this separately, and this is the European model, as seen, by the box. And this is also from the UK region, as you can see here, UK. Yeah. So let's see what this looks like. Now, I've only used this to play the Typing of the Dead. However, as far as I'm aware, you can play a multitude of other games using this. And there it is. There is a keyboard. Yes, it's got a bit of yellowing, but all the keys still works, as far as I know. I mean, you don't use these other keys for House of the Dead, but yeah, they work. It's not mechanical, so I think it's membrane based. But yeah, there's the Dreamcast controller, keyboard. Obviously the back still looks in good shape. Besides the coloring, the risers still work. Both risers still work, and yeah, it's a pretty good buy. I'm actually quite happy with this. I was able to finally try and play, Typing of the Dead, which is I don't know. Can you call it a weird game? I guess you can. It is a little bit weird, but it's fun nonetheless. Let's get this out of the way. Now, this is, as you can see, this is probably the only boxed Dreamcast controller item that I have. The rest of it, I don't own the box for them. I guess that's the downside of buying secondhand. Yeah, not that I'm complaining anyway. Look, there are more controllers that I am missing, such as the Maracas controller, the mouse, the twin stick, and the two on the back of this box, which is the race controller and the arcade stick. Now, I would love to own them all and complete my collection, but yeah, unfortunately, at the moment, I can't spare any money as much as I want to. But yeah, one day, who knows if I'd get my financials right, I survive, this, and I get out of it. I might spare some money and get the arcades, because I know for a fact that someone at the moment is selling an arcade stick, a Dreamcast arcade stick, for $150 New Zealand in trade, and I would like one, but yeah, I can't justify spending that much at the moment. Right, so now let's get on to the games. And these are the games that I received in the bundle, in both bundles, except for Metropolis Street Racing, because like I said, I sold that, yeah? I'll start at the bottom of the pack, WWF Attitude. This one here. Now, I don't know if I've played this, but yeah, there it is. There is the Dreamcast box, the PAL version. By the way, I've got the PAL version, denoted by the blue swirl, and obviously the NTSC has the orange swirl. And yeah, it's still in good condition. The case is in good condition. Yes, it's got scuff marks here and there, and there's a little bit of I don't know if you can see that it is scuffed in the front. It's not clear, but oh no, I mean the hinges are still intact, as you can see here. Right, there we are. Both hinges, in fact, and the side there. You can, I mean, you can, yeah, you can put it on the side there or down, whatever. And the coolest thing about the Dreamcast box is, well, the game case is it has two sides to this. So here's the front, right there. There's the front there. Now, yes, it's well, the plastic bit is falling apart, but I guess I can't do anything about it. And there's also a back part, which is right here. So let me show you how this gets opened up. There it is, just like that. Yeah, and there's the back. Now let's take a look at what we get inside of here. So we get this Acclaim card, Acclaim the State of Play, free post, 3 Alverson Place. I have got no idea where that is. I'm guessing that's in the UK somewhere, considering that this is a PAL game. So why register? You know, you register this and it. So that's still intact. Yeah, and then you've got the Acclaim the State of Play booklet. There we are. So this one, what has this got here? It's got Revolt, Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000, Ultimate Football, All-Star Baseball 2000, Trick Style, Turok 2. I didn't know Turok 2 came out on Dreamcast, but there you go. I thought that was a Nintendo 64. Maybe this is a Nintendo 64 one. Actually, yeah, this is a Nintendo 64 booklet because, as far as I can see, on the platform there, it doesn't say Dreamcast. It just says Nintendo 64, PC, and yeah. Or some of them does come out in PlayStation. Like for instance, Shadow Man. I know for a fact that they came out in PlayStation. So you know that there it is. And what else have we got here? South Park, Attitude. Yeah, I don't know why the Dreamcast logo is not there. Actually, this was Attitude, right? Yeah, Attitude. I don't know why. Armorines and a bunch of Game Boys. So yeah, that's the Acclaim booklet, which is placed in the front half of the case. So let's close that up. And on the back, as you saw before, is the game, where the game sits. There we are, along with the booklet. Right, so the game is still in good condition, and there it is. There's no, hopefully you could, well, there's a couple of scuff marks, but you know, nothing major. And there we are, Dreamcast, and it is the PAL version, as you can see there. So the booklet itself, decent size. Table of contents, you know, the usual. What we've got here, loading. Oh, that's another thing that I'm missing. The cap on the visual memory. I do not own any of them. So, and I don't know if you can buy them separately, but yeah, if I can, I need 4 of them. So I don't know where I'm gonna find one, to be honest with you. But those are the menu controllers, obviously. Start time options. I'm just gonna go through these very quickly. Controls, power circle, squared circle, career, multiplayer, pay-per-view, create a wrestler. Oh, that sounds fun. Attributes, stats, oh, superstars, biographies, and a couple of pages of notes. Yeah, so that is WWF Attitude for the Dreamcast. Next, I have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for the Dreamcast. Actually, this is another game that I really enjoy. I like quizzes. It's good. Well, when you play this game, obviously it's gonna run out of quizzes at some point, and you'll end up remembering them, and you'll be able to, you know, flawlessly run through the game. But when I first got this game, I played a couple of times and I enjoyed it. And yeah, there it is. This Chris Tarrant, which is the host of the UK version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. There's the back. And again, 4 players, another good party game. Let me see. Can you play 4 players? Yes, you can. You can actually play 4 players on WF Attitude. And another reason why you should get a Dreamcast, because you can play these games. You can play 4 players on them, which is awesome. The front, the CD this time is kept in the front. There it is. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This one is actually in really good condition. And on the back is the booklet. There we are. Yeah, and let's see what this booklet gives us. So what's inside? Getting started, introduction, main menu. There it is. There is the booklet. So yeah, again, if you can get one of this, yeah, I mean it's not a long game. It's a quiz game, but nevertheless, I enjoyed it. I like it a lot, and especially the fact that you can play. It's basically like Buzz before Buzz was a thing. Actually, I'm not sure when did Buzz come out. I'm guessing late 2000s, 2001. That around the PS2 area. But yeah, this is it's another one was quiz games like You Don't Know Jack. That's another great series. So there it is. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for the Dreamcast. Oh, and by the way, on the side, yeah, this one here has a little bit of yeah, I don't know, is that water damage? Looks like it, but besides that, it's fine as long as the game is still intact. That's the main thing, right? And then we have Virtua Striker 2 version 2000.1, as you can see there on the side. Now this is again, this is one of the games that I got when I bought the bundle. It is, yeah, it's you can only, I think you can only play 2 players. Yeah, one to 2 players, and you can use an arcade stick, which is which is great. I guess it's like playing in the arcades. Whoops. Oh yeah, this one here I forgot to mention. The hinge is broken, as you can see. So it's missing the top hinge. There it is, right? And yeah, it's annoying, but I guess at the end of the day, it's alright. The CD disc is still in really good condition. And I don't know whether or not you can get replacement Dreamcast cases anymore. I guess if you live in the UK, you can find someone that has them. But yeah, over here in New Zealand, yeah, good luck. We've got here the booklets that come with it. You've got here the Dreamcast booklet, Sonic Adventure, Red Dog, Sega Rally Championship, Sega Rally 2 actually, Soul Calibur, and what else? And oh, Toy Commander on the back. Yeah. So we are. In terms of the booklet, now it's a thick manual booklet, whatever you want to call it, instruction manual. It is in several languages, as you can see. So you've got epilepsy warning and whatnot, and then there it is. There's the game, and then all the controls and whatnot, tail lock controls, attacking, defending, and other throw-ins. And these are the other languages. So there it is. There's the booklet, and that is Virtua Striker 2 version 2000.1. Next we have Virtua Fighter 3 TB. TB stands for Team Battle. So there's a regular Virtua Fighter 3, I think. This one has the Team Battle mode, which is great. So there we are. Again, two players. Oh, VGA compatible. And then you can use the arcade stick as well. On the inside, we've got the disc there, the Virtua Fighter disc. There it is. Now this one has a scratch. I don't know if you can see. There it is. You can just barely make it up right there. which is quite annoying, and it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. I'm still able to play, but yeah, that scratch is annoying, especially if it's quite a deep one. So obviously the booklet's on the back, in the back, sorry, and yeah, it's just several languages, different languages, arcade stick, controllers, basic moves. This is, again, in most, or if not all of my videos, this is what I miss. I mean, looking at the basic, the manual, having a read and learning all the, all the moves and all the rules and whatnot. Something that we don't have anymore. Well, I guess, yeah, we're saving, a bunch of trees and whatnot, and from printing, but yeah, I miss this. I miss the feeling of opening up the manual and having a read. Especially, look, this one here has all the moves, right? You got character introduction moves, and you got each character's basic moves also, and their biography. Yep, and those are the other languages. Yeah, so that's Virtua Fighter 3 TB. And then we have Soul Calibur. This is such a good game. It is, as far as I understand it, this is a direct port of the arcade game, so it's arcade perfect. And yeah, I played this when I bought the Dreamcast, and I got this game as part, again, as part of the bundle. I played the heck out of it. It's so good, so good. Yeah, there it is. There's the back of it. As you can see, you can use there's vibration. You can use the arcade stick and whatnot. This is one of the all-time greats, Soul Calibur. Yeah, and there it is. I think if I had to sell this separately, I'd be able to get a couple of $100, which I'm not gonna. But yeah, considering where the prices are going nowadays, Dreamcast prices, I wouldn't be surprised if I can get a high mark on this. But yeah, again, booklet. It's got a nice thick booklet. What have we got here? There we go. Dreamcast controller. And yeah, and those are the other languages. There we are, Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. Next, we have Sonic Adventure. Obviously, Sonic, Sega's mascot. There we are. There is the back of it. So let's see what's inside. The disc is still pretty good. Well, this one's perfect, actually. Here we are, and on the back is obviously the booklet. Now, this came with a demo, a trial version of Sonic Adventure 2. And I don't think I've played this one. I've never tried it. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of platformers. I'm useless in platformers. So when I played Sonic or even Super Mario, it just didn't. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it that much. But there it is. There's a trial, and I'm guessing for every Sonic Adventure game that you bought for the Dreamcast, you get a trial of Sonic 2. I'm guessing, because that's what I got. Unless the guy who owned this added Sonic Adventure 2 trial in here, But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and there is the booklet for Sonic Adventure 2, the trial. All right, playing the game and all that. I guess this also comes in all the different languages as well. Yeah, the booklet, yeah, as per usual, it comes in different languages, adventure mode, and all of that. Oh, remember when I said you can play mini games on the VMU? This is one of them. You can play a Chow adventure using your VMU. There it is. Right, which is pretty cool. I've never tried it, but yeah, well, one day I'll give it a go. And all that's all the different characters and all that. Yeah, and that is Sonic Adventure. This next game normally requires you to use an actual sniper rifle with a scope, and that is a silent scope. The only difference with the between the the major difference between the arcade version and the Dreamcast version is that the arcade version you can use the actual sniper gun with the scope. In the Dreamcast version, you have to play using the controller. Now it's so annoying. Believe me, I mean it is annoying. I'm not gonna mince my words. It is so annoying. You cannot use you can't use the Dreamcast light gun because it doesn't have a scope. Although you could probably simulate the scope, on screen if you like press a button or something. But yeah, this one doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I love this game on the arcades, especially when you're using the scope and whatnot. But in the Dreamcast, not so much. But yeah, again, it's one of those games that you have to try it for yourself to judge. But if you still have this game in the arcades, give it a go. Play it again. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, there's the booklet. Obviously, the contents of it, just normal contents. There it is. Like I said, the controls is just the controller. You can't use anything else. I wish they've made a sniper gun for the Dreamcast, such as the Justifier, the old Sega Justifier, or what's the Nintendo one called? I can't remember. Those are the characters, and yeah, those are the other languages. So silent scope, and like I said, if you still have an arcade intact in your city, in your town, and it has silent scope, yeah, give it a go. Next, we have Sega Rally 2, Sega Rally Championship. This is another great game for the Dreamcast. I love this. You can use the steering wheel, and I think there's still quite a few Sega Rally machines around in New Zealand and in Auckland where I'm in. And yeah, every time I see them, I play it. I just have to play it. It's such a fun game. Let's see here, the booklet. Oh, let's open it up. Here we go. On the back, this one also comes with the Dreamcast magazine number 10. Now, again, I don't know if this came from the manufacturer, from the seller, or whether or not the previous owner puts this into the Sega Rally case. So yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, just by looking at this, I'm guessing that the previous owner added this as an extra because this came from Dreamcast magazine number 10. So if you got the magazine, chances are you'll probably get this disc. So yeah, I don't know. And then there's the same booklet we saw previously. The booklet. This is nothing special really. Just obviously the Sega Rally, the controller, the race controller. That's pretty cool. Yeah, game mode, options, game display, rankings, car settings, and yeah, just the usual stuff. So that's great. Oh, and another thing is this game and booklet is not perfect because, as you can see, someone wrote S/H on the front, and that is annoying. I mean, you can't get rid of it, so it's there forever. But that's okay. I mean, I've grown past it. Next, I have Resident Evil Code Veronica, and again, this is one of the games, one of the other games that I got in the bundle when I bought the Dreamcast. There it is. Obviously it is a single player game only, Code Veronica. And let's see inside the disc. There we are. There's a disc. This came with two discs. Disc 1, right, and disc 2. Now I have not played this ever. I've played Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I haven't played Code Veronica. I should. I just haven't had time. There's the second disc. I'm guessing you continue on through the second disc as you play the game. You also get this booklet, win 1 of 10 Scion Revos. I've got no idea what. Yeah, it looks like a Palm tablet, the old school Palm tablets. Yeah, it's still there, but you can't win one of those anymore. And I doubt anyone has one of these Scion Revos Palm tablet. I got no idea. Booklet. Let's see. The booklet, yeah, the usual, you know. It gives you a brief description, prologue, Claire's story, Chris' story, Steve's story, and game disc, starting a game, character actions, status screen, item box, and all of that jazz. That's Code Veronica. Yeah, I should really find time to play this, especially on the Dreamcast. It'll be fun. It'll be awkward, clunky, and you know, I mean, I've been playing on modern consoles for quite a while now. Going back to an older console, older style controller, you know, I might need some time to get used to it. Ready to Rumble Boxing is the next one. This is Ready to Rumble 2, right, by Midway, makers of Mortal Kombat. There we are. You can use an arcade stick, you know, obviously the VMU, 2 players, and the inside, if we open it up, there is the disc. Nice, nice yellow color to it. Still good. Still nice. And the back obviously has this. Now this one, again, I'm pretty sure, 100% sure that the previous owner inserted this Ultimate Cheats collection into this game, because there's no way you would have bought Ready to Rumble and expect this in it. So yeah, and I've never used this, and again, this is from the Dreamcast magazine, so I'm sure it did not come with the game, but it's there nevertheless, which is great. Booklet has seen better days. It's got yeah, it's not perfect. It's got a couple of blemishes there, you know, fold marks, but I mean, it's okay. There's no ripped pages or anything, and you can still read the contents, which is the main thing. Game options and all that, and yeah, and those are the boxers. Let's go through them. There we go. Those are the boxers. And yeah, credits. Oh, what was that? Fighter. Oh, you can put in cool moves on the back. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's Ready to Rumble Boxing. The second game. The first game is Ready to Rumble? Ready Rumble? I can't remember. Next up is Psychic Force 2012. This is, I would say this is an obscure game, because not a lot of people know about it. I certainly didn't know about it until I got my place, until I found it in. I played in PlayStation. I think I played it in the PlayStation, the first PlayStation 1. But yeah, this came out also in Dreamcast, as you can see. There it is, 2 players. It's played in like a 3D playing field, and all the characters, they're all flying, they're all hovering above ground. But yeah, it's I would say it's pretty obscure, because like I said, I didn't know about it until, I don't know, until late 2000s, the 2000s. Yeah, but there it is. I guess that's what happens when you live in New Zealand, when you're far away from everyone else. Story, game modes, rules, side arena, yeah, barriers and pulses and whatnot. There's the game screen. I don't know if you can make anything out of that, but yeah, they are flying around. What else have we got here? Options. There we go. Characters. And the moves. So yeah, Psychic Force 2012. This is a sequel to Psychic Force. So and I don't know if I've played the first game, but I'm sure I can find it in an emulator somewhere. Then we have Jet Set Radio for the Dreamcast. Alright, there we are. Again, this is another single player game. Let's see here. There's a disc. I think the sequel to this is Jet Grind Radio, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is the first game, Jet Set Radio. And also this one has a crack on the edge, as you can see here, which is quite annoying, but yeah, what are you going to do? The booklet's got this one's really thick. Yeah, it's just, again, it shows you all the characters. What have we got here? More characters, more controls, starting up, graffiti, rival showdown, pause menu, graffiti, and all that. Yeah, so that's Jet Grind Radio. I've only played this once and I wasn't into it. I don't know, the gameplay just didn't resonate with me. But again, this is another Dreamcast exclusive game, I think, because I don't think this came out in the PlayStation, as far as I know. Next, you have Dynamite Cop. This is another good game. Two-player game. It is one of the most interesting co-op games for the Dreamcast, for me at least. I love the gameplay. It's so cool. Yeah, so here we go. Dynamite Cop. Disc is still pretty good. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, so it's a beat 'em up game, 3D beat 'em up game, and when I say 3D beat 'em up, it's like bare knuckle. But this one is it Dynamite Decker? I can't remember. It's one of those. There it is. Bruno Dellinger, yeah. And you can grab all sorts of power-ups. Those are the moves, actually. Yeah, unarmed combat, while holding and whatnot. And all the items, all the weapons, small arm weapons. And, oops, where are we? All different items. You've got here all the characters. You've got Bruno, Gene, Eddie, and all the bad guys. There we are. Dynamite Cop. Yeah, if you get a chance to play this, or if you haven't tried it, give it a go. It's really good. Next up, we have Dead or Alive 2 for the Dreamcast. There we are. Yeah. Yeah, another fighting game, and we all know the reason why we play this game. It's not for the story. Well, the story's not too bad, but there is something else that that makes this game really interesting to play. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm sure all of you will know what that is, though. Let's see here. Arcade stick, basic operations. What have we got? Strike throws, advanced techniques, modes. And there we go. Storyline. All the different characters. Huh, passionate fighter, nice one. And there we are. Dead or Alive 2 for the Dreamcast. And my favorite Dreamcast game, favorite, Choo Choo Rocket. This is for me one of the best party games ever created. Look at that, 4-player mayhem, and you can even use the keyboard as well. I've never used a keyboard to play this, but yeah, you can use the keyboard. It's such a great game. Like it's chaos basically, and like I mentioned earlier, it'll test your friendship at some point. Yeah, we get a booklet. Oh, by the way, that is the game, Metropolis Street Racer. That's the game that I sold with the other Dreamcast. So yeah, that was a big. Selling the Dreamcast was a big mistake, and I guess I shouldn't have sold, you know, this game as well. Now, what else we've got here? Space Channel 5. We've got Sega GT, Shenmue. Shenmue is another game that I really want to play. But yeah, again, I cannot justify spending, you know, $200 on the game. Not yet anyway. Virtual Tennis, Jet Set Radio, well, Extreme Sports, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Ready to Rumble. No, actually, that is the first game, Ready to Rumble Boxing. This is the second game, round 2. Yeah, sorry about that. F355 Challenge. What else? Oh, Quake Arena. That's another good first-person game, party game. Half-Life and yeah. What else? Choo Choo Rocket. Let's see. Let's take a look at the booklet. Yeah, it's just how to play really, and get a storyline, how to play, rules and mode selections and all of that online. And this one you can play online, but yeah, I've never tried playing online with this. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, this is my favorite game, Choo Choo Rocket. If you've never tried it, give it a go. Give it a go. Seriously, give it a go. It's even better if you play it on the console itself. But if you can't, then yeah, try in an emulator or something. And finally, I have The House of the Dead 2. Now, unfortunately, when I got this game, again, as part of the bundle, I didn't receive the original case. This one here. So instead, the guy put it into this normal CD case. Yeah. He even printed out a spine for me. And there's back. Now, yeah, it is from a real game, as you can see here. If we open it up, it is the PAL version. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is still great. And yeah, this is House of Dead 2. Now, this is a good game to play with a light gun. I mean, a 2-player game. And like I said, the light gun is, accuracy-wise, is really good, especially when you're playing this. And you're going to need it. So yeah, that is House of the Dead 2. Right? And look, that's pretty much all the Dreamcast items and games that I own. Yes, I understand. I am missing a lot of great games, but again, at the moment, I just cannot justify spending $100 upwards just to buy Shenmue, or even $200 to buy Shenmue, or you know, $200-300 to buy Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But you know, who knows? One day I might be able to buy one if I can get out of this financial situation, or if I can sort it out. Anyway, if you've never played a Dreamcast game, I strongly suggest you try it. You know, via emulator, I guess. But if you can get the real thing, get it. It is such an underrated console, and no doubt you will enjoy playing on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.